Welcome, Packer Nation. We got a special treat for you this week. It is me. I am the special treat. I am John Jameson. I am host of Pack to the Future podcast and also author of Countdown to Kickoff. And I figured we'd kind of switch things up a little bit this week and give you guys a video version of the Countdown to Kickoff. And that is where we will just pretty much break down the week's matchup. And, I'll get to throw a bold prediction in there. And I get to predict the score, so it's a moment that I get to let my true Packers knowledge shine. And a lot of times those dudes on the podcast, week in, week out, share the same thoughts that I would love to share with you guys, so they do a phenomenal job because I feel like my Packer knowledge is pretty much equally superior to theirs, but you just don't get to hear my thoughts as much. So this will be a cool way to just kind of introduce you to myself. I don't know why I keep talking about myself. I'm going to move on to the Packers and their matchup this week with the Bears. Obviously, we all know that the Packers are extremely hot right now. They just dismantled and made a complete they shamed the Seahawks, is how I'll put it. They just completely put them to shame, and that was one of the sweetest victories I can remember in a very long time for this Packers team. So they've been very hot as of late, three in a row right now, and they are halfway to living out Aaron Rodgers' prophecy about this team definitely being able to run the table. And the next opponent they got this week is a very, very lousy Chicago Bears team. 3-10 right now, bottom of the NFC North, just a team struggling to find their identity, and it should be a Packers victory. Let's just put it that way. And there's some things to definitely be watching out for this game. Obviously, we all know Aaron Rodgers is a little bit hobbled right now, dealing with a calf injury. They're saying it's less severe than what it was in what would that be, 2013? So 14. A little less severe than that, but it does take away some aspects of the Packers offense. I mean, he had that injury going into last week in Seattle and found a way to get the job done. I mean, I think his passer rating was right around 150. So, I mean, he absolutely had a gem of a game, but what you saw there was a lack of mobility from him, where I remember there was a play, I think it was a 3rd and 2 towards the middle of the third quarter possibly, and there was a clear lane for him to run and pick up the first, and he just had to throw the ball because he didn't feel comfortable in his running ability. So that's going to play into the game, especially when you're talking about winds and weather, as such is going to be happening in Chicago. So that's gonna kind of change things up for the Packers. But what we've seen in this recent streak of wins is the short passing game has really picked up. And like I said, when you're dealing with winds that are going to be as high as they're going to be in Chicago and just the weather in general, you have to hit them on the quick shots. And I'm thinking the Packers have really found their rhythm in that, and they should be able to capitalize on that and kind of limiting Rodgers' need to scramble out of the pocket and try and pick up first downs. Just keep moving the chains with the short pass, and I think that's where the Packers will find their success with this injury to Aaron Rodgers. A big part of that has definitely been Devontae and Jordy stepping up, and Cobb is still questionable, I think, to play. Signs are pointing that he's going to play, but we're definitely going to need him. And I remember the last time the Packers played the Bears this year, Ty Montgomery had a heck of a game. Ty showed up. I think he had 9 carries for 60 yards plus 50 on the ground. So now that this is his show in the backfield, I think you're going to see him get right around 20 touches, and I am excited to see what this guy can do with 20 touches. I think that he is a very, very deadly runner, and he's shown, out of all the players in the Packers backfield, he has shown the most promise, I will say, in finding the holes and just making the right cuts right reads, and he's very elusive and has some nice speed. So I think as a whole, Packer Nation, we should be very excited to see what Ty Montgomery is going to bring to the table this week. And defensively, last week, 6 turnovers. That is something to be marveled at. Dom Capers had some schemes going. I know that some Seattle players definitely caused Russell Wilson to have some interceptions, but that one Demarius Randall interception, that could be framed in a picture and sold millions and millions and millions of times. So let's be honest about that. But no, seriously, the defense showed up big time, and Capers has shown when he's facing a young quarterback that's not really acclimated to the league yet, as in Matt Barkley. I mean, obviously Matt Barkley has had a couple years in the NFL right now, but he's never really had the opportunity to stand under center and call a game and make the throws and stuff. So, like I said, Dom Capers has feasted on quarterbacks like that. And coming off 6 turnovers in the last game, I'm definitely expecting the Packers to be able to find some ways to get pressure on Matt Barkley, and also force some turnovers and keep the ball in the hands of number 12. And you're going to see some great offensive output. And and going into that, I'm going to go ahead and give a player that I think is just going to go off this week, and that is going to be Ty Montgomery. Ty Montgomery, as I stated earlier, he is in line to receive a lot of touches. Based on what the weather reports are saying it's going to be, Ty Montgomery has a real chance to shine and show the Packers organization that he can play running back, and the fact that the door is open for him to take the reins of this. With Eddie Lacy possibly not even returning next year, this is going to be a big game for Ty Montgomery to step up and show that he has the ability to be an elite. He doesn't have to be elite in the NFL, but he can be a very, very, very good running back, I feel, and this is his time to shine. So if he gets right around, I don't think he's had. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but as I'm speaking, numbers keep popping into my head, and he has had 2 games this year where he has had 9 carries, and that is the most. And in those games, he has gotten right around 50 or 60 yards each time. So I think his yards per rush right now is right around 6.2. So yeah, I think Ty Montgomery is going to run the crap out of the ball, and he's going to produce in a big way. I think that he's going to go off for over 100. I'm going to say right around 132 yards for Ty Montgomery with a touchdown, and that's on the ground. Not to mention maybe 30 to 40 yards catching the ball. And if he gets over 100, that will be the Packers' second 100-yard rushing game this whole season. So hopefully we can find some way for Ty Montgomery to get things going on the ground, and that will definitely aid in the Packers' attempt to make the playoffs this year and continue their super hot play and keep this win streak alive. And hopefully the stars align and we will see the Packers make the playoffs this year. So in final closing, I will give you guys what I think is going to be the final score of the game. I'm going to go ahead and say the Packers are going to win this game 28-10. 28-10 Packers. There you have it, folks. Have a blessed week. Stay safe if you are in the state of Wisconsin right now, as we are getting blasted with the snow. And go Pack, go! And I will see you guys on Tuesday at the podcast. Hey.